Hey guys, before we get this party started, I want to give y'all a quick heads up, kind of what's been going on. Chris is about to make a jump into a new day job, so you'll be seeing him more regularly on the recordings. We're fired up for him. He's making pro moves. It's going to be fucking awesome. In addition to that, we're going to kind of change up the format of the podcast. We're going to start highlighting a little bit about what we've done in the week before, the weeks ahead, things along those lines, and then we'll bring the guests' interviews on in the second half of the episode. So after Thursday's episode with Patty, the 5280 editor, and today's episode with Stephen, starting next week, we'll start to see a little bit of a shift in how the podcast is talked about, what it's talked about. We'll discuss a little bit more about my findings and things that I'm doing on the weekends. I think y'all have asked for more insight for the podcast, so hopefully we'll be able to provide that. But here's a hilarious episode with Stephen Woolf, founder of It's Groovy Gravy. Let's go.
The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
One. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stoned Appetit. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip. Chris is at the day job today, so I have the pleasure of introducing what I'm going to call a friend, because I've now had multiple conversations with him, and I think he's a pretty cool guy. He can speak to that later, but Mr. Stephen Woolf, local businessman, it's Groovy Gravy. It's Groovy Gravy founder, which is pretty much an event coordinating group, hospitality group based out of Denver. And he's here today. I butchered that intro, but it's okay. Steven's a cool guy, so we'll get over it. But yeah, we're here today just to talk about a lot of things. I think y'all are going to find that he's a pretty creative guy, in addition to a local proprietor in this, I guess, industries, really. You kind of transcend multiple industries. So we were going to have some interesting conversations with him about the vibe in Denver and what he's been up to lately. But before we get this show started, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Cali's Cannabis. Y'all hear it every episode. They have 3 locations here in Denver. They're killing it with their rewards program, where you're getting some solid points back, a little bang for your buck, as well as they have deals of the day. As we do this recording, it's Monday afternoon. Monday?
Yeah, it's Monday.
That dab worked.
All day.
Yeah, Monday afternoon. So that means you get Dollar J's or Dollar Gummies out the door for spending $20, and that's at all 3 locations. Not to mention the rewards program. So they literally are doing something every day of the week to benefit you. And like I've said before, they have fantastic recreational weed, so you should swing through there, check them out, tell them we sent you. Whew, 3 locations. 31st and Larimer. They have one in North Glen off 100 and something, 144th. And then they have the location at 8th and Kenosha Court that most recently opened. They're growing everything in-house. They have great deals on edibles. Go check them out. That's Cali's Cannabis, Callies. Thanks, guys. All right, Stephen, I butchered the intro, but we're back, so we're going to have a little bit of a chance to redeem ourselves.
All right.
Tell us exactly what it is Groovy Gravy is about and how we've become friends in the most random of ways recently.
So as like a whole, I would say Groovy Gravy is a cannabis-focused event production company.
Okay, see, now everyone knows why I butchered it. But before we get any deeper into that, we usually ask the same question to every guest, just to get the ball rolling. So I'm going to ask you that as well, but I wanted to fix that intro because I felt like I really butchered that. So thank you. Are you a transplant or are you a native to Denver, as you're here in the Denver studios?
I am a transplant from Orlando, Florida.
Oh, shit. What brought you out from here?
Cannabis.
So you came out here to do weed?
Yeah, that and I mean a mixture of that and visiting and liking it. I planted the seed very early on when I saw that cannabis was going to be recreationally legal here.
So was this like more of a stonerism, like I want to smoke weed all the time, or was it more of a you had an itch to be in the cannabis industry?
Both.
Oh, really?
I mean, I am a frequent user of cannabis. Not like one of those.
But you had like the mindset of you're coming out here to get into the business.
Oh yeah,
That was the intent.
I've had the mindset that I was gonna do something with cannabis for most of my, I'd say, adult life, and even really a little bit before.
So if you're that entrenched and in love with the plant that we all enjoy and whatnot, when did you start smoking so much weed? Were you thinking grow houses at 10, or what are we talking about?
No, it wasn't like 10. Weed has always been a part of, I would say, a part of my life and culture even before it was something that I did with my friends after school or something like that.
Yeah.
I come from a family that's like a big group of, I guess, deadheads, for like a lack of a better word. And
free-spirited folk?
Yeah, free-spirited folk. My dad's greatest claim his whole life before he died was that he went to 167 Grateful Dead shows.
Oh, shit.
So he just traveled around and did his thing. So even before I knew that it was a culture, it was kind of
immersed in you before.
I was already there.
Yeah.
I was out in the backyard. They were playing Dead songs before I knew it was the Dead, and I probably knew the lyrics to the songs before I knew who was singing them. So
that's actually fantastic. Were you a child that maybe called a couple of these shows?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know how old you are. You don't actually look that old, so
yeah,
I wasn't sure.
So I was dragged around the Northeast for a couple shows. I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly which ones or something like that. That would be just lying to you. I just know from some of the like craziest memories I have are in those scenarios. I remember a memory that changed. I've even like told many people this, but a memory that like changed who I am as a person a lot happened. Where just like a random one of my dad's acquaintances on the lot like hit me, screamed at me. I was like, that was the first time I ever had like a like someone disciplined me that wasn't my parents or something. It was just traumatized, like just something that sticks out in my head. But yeah, like
that's wild.
Yeah, weird.
And so I guess that's I would ask, how was the weed in Orlando? But I think of it like trying to find. It's difficult to find good weed when you live in like a place where it's taboo, but you kind of didn't live in a place where it was taboo. So, I mean, you were probably introduced to it rather, I mean, like on your own with, like the same way we were all introduced to it, but at a, 14, 15.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember like just knowing like in the background, just from like looking outside the window and seeing my dad like smoke this incredibly oddly shaped cigarette and stuff. Like,
one that looks like a flower.
Like, it just always being open, like it was never like, cannabis leaf was,
it just wasn't
like something that was ever.
It wasn't that weird.
Terrible. It wasn't like my parents were like, hey, like let's go get high or something like that. But I remember the first time I got caught smoking when I was a kid. I was like pulling a graph, and my dad like walked in, and we were like, oh shit, like I guess this is the moment of truth. And he's like, I remember the first thing he said was like, you guys are doing that completely wrong.
Wait, what were y'all doing?
We were pulling a gravity bong.
Were y'all doing the flow, or were y'all doing
the flow? Yeah,
okay.
We were just pulling out of the water. We had just like a little,
just caught red-handed with it.
Caught red-handed with it. Like, there's nothing you can do in that situation. You have this apparatus full of smoke.
What was there a punishment? Was it because I found my mom's pipe that she had above her toilet, and I was like, why does she have this? And then so the question was, if you want to do it, you can do it. You have to do it here. Like try it with us. Don't be like going out there and smoking and driving around. But that was a common misconception where we grew up. So we were smoking out of Coke cans and apples because rolling shitty weed into shitty joints.
Yeah, it was like not. Once it was just kind of cracked open. It was fine. I mean, I went like kind of dived deep into the whole.
So did you get that it can
as a young man, like it was just part of my life, and like when as soon as that hit my lips, you know what I'm saying?
You found that you loved it?
Dude, I bought a freaking car. I always had a little extra money just from selling. I mean, I sold candy in middle school. I was just like sold.
You were slinging it. I get it, man.
And you sell other things when you get older. And I remember when I was like 16, I bought a Cadillac Seville, 1974.
Were you trying to get arrested?
It didn't work. No, it didn't work. I couldn't drive yet. I was still waiting to get the license. I was just I'm
that's
gonna
what
get
I was
it
thinking.
soon, and I'll get it. So I bought it, and it didn't work. And I just bought it even thinking in my head, I'm like, worst comes to worst, I'll put this in my garage. And I just parked it in my garage. Parents didn't care, and we just smoked in there. The only thing my mom would ever complain about
is if it smelled in the house.
Was if it was just like disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like don't just like blatantly do it right in front of me.
Yeah, even like more so, it's like don't disrespect my home more so than like that. If you guys are smoking, because in Florida you smoke blunts, it's just like that's how you smoke. I mean,
are you a backwoods guy? Are we talking White Owl?
In a past life.
Was it backwoods?
In Florida, we're some of the first people. I will say this.
Before the trend caught on with the
backwoods,
the jackets and the
backwoods.
t-shirts.
Back when you were a kid and you smoked a backwood, and if you smoked it too quick, you laid on the ground when you were spinning because the tobacco rush. You know, like,
I mean,
gross.
I wasn't a blunt guy. We were shitty joints guy, but like the blunt craze is recently. I feel like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like it's everywhere now. When we were growing up, it was still big. It was Dutches, Swishers, and backwoods.
Okay. All right. That's not a bad power ranking, those three.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to make a graphic for that.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So I guess, you learned early. You mentioned you spent some time on the road as well. Where did we go from Orlando before we got to, the poor decisions that led to you on this couch today?
Yeah. So.
Did you think you were going to get raped when you came up the stairs? Like, this is an easy place where you could get robbed?
No way.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, when you come from Florida to Denver, you don't ever think about getting robbed, really. And it's not, yeah.
Okay,
it's like
I mean, it's not. Yeah, I'm not saying we're like something where it's crime-riddled Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh no, not
but
at all.
It's not. It's. Well, I'm like fascinated.
I loved it. I was walking in. I was like, wow. All right. Kip's done all right for himself.
Yeah, right here off Colfax behind the Popeyes. But we get some incredible smells from Popeyes.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure.
Like you hear of the people with the dog plants over there and, the farms of the north. We have Popeyes, and I couldn't be. That may be why I eat it so often.
It keeps the north window open.
Yeah. We leave that window open on game day Saturdays, and by 11:15, you've already fired in a Popeyes order. It's not hard.
The ultimate sales.
I mean, to be fair,
Marketing 101.
right? If they gave out chicken skin on the corner, they'd have 25 times.
God.
You don't even have to. You could use the breasts.
Kip, you got to plug your olfactory marketing company that you're starting.
Yeah, right? No shit. By the way, Crisco is also coming back with Backwoods. I don't even know what we're oh, yeah, so you went from Orlando. Where did you have stop-offs in between before coming to
No, just
Denver?
came straight here.
Okay, nice.
Yes. There was a little bit like back and forth at first to get established.
And yeah, what was the first entry point? How'd you dip your toe into the industry? Did you have friends already in the game legally?
No, I had like a couple friends that were dabbling. The industry wasn't really. It was in the first year of forming.
What year are we talking?
As far as the first time I came out here to get my feet wet and start establishing myself in the cannabis community was the very beginning of 2013. I think it was February.
Okay.
So, or maybe
right around rec,
right around
whenever
there,
rec was getting.
That's when I first was making sure that I could be a part of get into this community. It was, yeah, I mean, shit. I knew you always when something like cannabis is your passion, at least for me, and I'm sure it's different for everyone, but it was always am I doing this? In the very beginning for me, it was am I doing this because it is the thing that I love the most, or is it because I can have the most fun kind of doing it? That was a big question.
What if it's both?
Me. Oh, that's what it is, and that's what I really quickly learned.
That's what I was about to say.
I've always known that it's my passion, but when you're a kid, because I was still a kid when I was in my head when I was making these decisions.
I mean, I think we're still probably children in some folks' eyes.
Yeah. So that's exactly when I was making a decision. Am I making a decision where it's almost this is what you do every day, so you want to do it, or is it because like I can't find something wrong with this, and it's everything that I